Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The time has come for us to escape from Tarkov, single player style. As this summer we are launching Yuki's single player Tarkov adventures and the start of Season 0. I'll explain in this presentation of how we're going to be doing it, what is SPT, what is EFT, some mods we're going to play with, and how everything is going to work. You guys will have a lot of influence this time as the chat and the audience will be able to influence our gameplay. Let's show you guys what's on the menu. On the menu today, we have what is Escape from Tarkov and single player Tarkov, why SPT, how EFT plays normally. I'll be talking about the new channel UQ SPT Adventures and how it's going to incorporate with our main channel UQ Productions. Then I'm going to be talking about how you guys can get involved by voting on a rule set for season 0 and season 1 and beyond. We'll also talk about the mods that I'm thinking of using to start. And could we have a roleplay story? I'll explain that in a quick bit. First, what is Escape from Tarkov and what is SPT? Escape from Tarkov, also known as EFT, is a realistic styled extraction shooter game where the objective is to grab items inside of the raid or the map and extract with them without getting killed on the way to extraction. It's high stakes, high reward, where one wrong move will make you lose everything. So if you die in Tarkov, you lose everything. That is on you. SPT is short for single player Tarkov, which is a mod of Tarkov that allows players to play EFT in a single player environment. It is the same high stakes, high reward game, but in a local plane without cheaters. And it's just on your own. So why SPT and what's been going on? So if you guys are not aware, BASG, the publisher for Escape from Tarkov, recently released an edition of the game called the Unheard Edition. And it's $250 where there are pay to win mechanics. But there's controversy with that because included with that is a single player mode, co-op mode, which is a DLC. And those of you who purchased something called the Edge of Darkness Edition or EOD were also promised future DLC, which they went back on. Their promise was broken in that point. Players have been leaving the main Tarkov to go to SPT mod due to this development. In addition to that, cheaters have been inhabiting the game for a while and it's frustrating players. So a lot of people have been also frustrated with the fact that cheaters have been in the game. Now, obviously, cheaters are every game. That's not new. But in this particular game, it's been rampant to the tune of hey, I heard from a lot of players, 54% of the players online are cheaters in Tarkov. And the way they play it, it's like Call of Duty, jumping, jumping high, jump, movement. This game is whole different story of game. This is not your typical. This is not your Call of Duty. It is survival of the fittest. Get your gear, and it's tactical. It's a very tactical game. So what's the difference with SPT? The SPT mod allows players to play Tarkov without the fear of online servers, cheaters, and pay-to-win mechanics. In addition, sub-mods can be added to make the experience more enjoyable to the player's skill level and can be used as practice should the online servers go down or take time out for cheaters. Let's just say, for example, the internet goes down. It has happened to me before, but I want to play Tarkov. The original Tarkov requires an online connection, but single player Tarkov does not. All you need though, you do need to purchase a game. You do need to purchase the game. But all you need though is the mod application and the game, the Escape from Tarkov game. And then you're good to go. Play some Tarkov on your off time. That's what players do nowadays. and you can record it too, so your internet will go down, which is really nice, which is really helpful. Now let's talk about some common terminology you're going to hear if you are going to play the game or you're going to watch me play, because I'm going to refer to these as common terms for those of you who are not aware of these terms. So, raid, when I say raid, I mean to say escape from Tarkov. A raid is where you go to Tarkov and start hunting, gathering, and items and extracting. That is basically play the game. This is the main part of the game. PMC stands for player main character. You take in items from your own stash, which you earn while extracting them from raids. So there's two types of players you can play as: a PMC and a scav. And a scav, short for scavenger, is the second type of playable character where you take stuff from PMCs. You spawn in with other scavs, don't attack your fellow scavs. So basically, scavs are scavengers who hunt down player characters. It's like its own good versus evil kind of scenario. But for a scav, don't kill other scavs. They will label you as a traitor in a way. The wipe event now, if you guys remember me playing Rust, the survival game with the building and stuff, the wipe event, you already know that it clears out everything. There's the same thing from Escape from Tarkov where they clear out everything so that everybody starts fresh. Of course, cheaters are going to find their way, but basically you start fresh at the start of the next season. Now, this applies only to the real Tarkov, as in the online Tarkov, the one that everybody's actually leaving because of the $250 price tag for a single. Okay, so this does not apply to Tarkov single player because it's your own thing. You do wipes your way. Okay, and speaking of that, I'm gonna explain how EFT plays so that you guys are ready to escape from Tarkov with me when we get started with this summer. Gameplay. The gameplay loop is this: gather loot, fight off AI players AI, loot them, go for an extraction point without being killed to win the raid and items. That's all you have to do. It's simple? No. I'll talk about that in a minute. Realism events, elements. Weapons, looting, and mechanics are made to be realistic. They they modeled the game, the items based on real life items, scopes, weapons, and more. So for example, in Call of Duty, where they just give you, here you go, here's your gun, start getting points. In Escape from Tarkov, though, you have to make the weapon your way. You find base, you find scope, you find mag, you find all the parts of a weapon basically. You put them together like you put them in real life. You put you put the weapon together. It's like building a Lego bricks, but for weapons. So this is how it works. Okay, so you have to do all that good stuff. Quest. Traders and item sellers have quests for you to complete based on the maps you can go into. So we're gonna do that as part of the game, questing and buying items and all that good stuff. They also give you quests to give you more levels for that trader. And there's also in the mod, there's also custom traders too. So not only do you get the default people, you can actually add more for your modding experience. Market. You can sell and buy items using the in-game currency. Character. The character menu. Gear up with the items and equipment you have earned in raids before going to a raid. So that is where you put all the items together, the backpacks, the stash, the medical supplies, everything you need to the raid. And then the escape from Tarkov selection menu, that is where you actually get started. You play either as a scav or PMC. Next, let's talk about the channel now. The new channel, Yuuki's SPT Adventures. This is the brand new channel specifically for Escape from Tarkov single player, So I'm gonna explain what content we're gonna be doing for that. Also, we will be live on the main channel to present more Tarkov. Yuki's SPT Adventures will be our YouTube channel for all things SPT. Content will include our SPT Adventure series, which will be based on seasons, and our RP story, roleplay story, based on our Scav and PMC. Content will be done on YSPT Adventures, and streams will be done on the main Yuki Productions channel as normal. Here's some content I have planned for you guys um, when we get started. SPT Adventure Series, Season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, includes a quote unquote halftime thing report of sorts. I'm going to explain what that is when we get closer now. But it's basically a recap of the series so far for that season. Mod list and mod settings videos. I'll be talking about some mods, I'll be talking about some settings I'm be using, and anything that I will use to change for our season. The next thing on our board is season 0, the beginning. So this particular season is basically the first few raids with debugging mods. So anything that we can try to learn about it. This is more of a learning season. The season 0 is more of a learning season. Like, let's learn the game first before we get into the stressful stuff. Okay? Like the mods, the all the good stuff. This is our training season. First little taste of the game. Speaking of training series. I'm gonna be explaining of how I prepare for raids based on certain aspects. So that is more of a guide area for you guys. As I learn the game, you learn the game too. How do I prepare for raids? I'm Keep in mind that it's single player Tarkov and no cheaters. So you prepare your own way. I'm gonna show you my style, then you can show me yours. That's how this works. And if you have any ideas for me as a player, let me know. I'll be very happy to take some of your advice because I'm still new to this extraction shooter thing. Keep in mind, DMZ Call of Duty does not count, by the way. It is an extraction game mode, but it's nowhere near as robust as Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is the king. Next, we're gonna do some highlights from live streams and YouTube Shorts. So I'll be recording the gameplay vertically as well, so we can do something for like YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram. So anything like that will be included as part of our content for that channel and or TikTok. Now let's get started with you guys. This is where you guys get started with our interaction stuff in terms of like you guys as the audience. So here's how it's going to work. On the community tab, you're going to be able to vote for different rule sets for season 0. 0. This is our learning season, okay? Learning season. So we're not going to go all in, all out right away. But we will be starting to include elements of the game. For example, if you want rule set 1 or rule set A, if, as I called it, we're going to have 7 raids. I know it's small, but remember, this is just our training area. 7 raids. The first raid is a pistol run. The first 4 raids are going to be including the debug mods. So debug mods are like waypoints. We're going to include something where the bot numbers are going to be shown on the top right corner of the screen. How many bots are presented in that area, just so that you can see what type of game we're about to enjoy or what about we're about to be frustrated with. So the first 4 raids of rule set A, actually all sets of rules will be our debug. Grades 5 through 7 will have no debug mods. And the exception though is Waypoint. Because we do need that for Big Brain mod, which I'll present to you guys later. And some of the mods will need to be working with each other. They are like brothers and sisters. You have to have the brother and the sister together to make them work. So we're gonna have to include some mods like that, but no be debug mods like a free cam. Oh, excuse me, like the bot numbers on the top right corner of the screen. Number of mods for any rule set. I'm going to allow any mods. Any mods can be allowed. If you have mods that you want to suggest to me, feel free to do so because I'm making my mod list right away. Weapon and item restrictions. There will be no weapon and item restrictions for rule set 1. So I can bring anything. Wiping thingy? No. There will be no wipes in season 8. In the rule set A. End of season 0 though, there will be a full wipe just to make sure everything starts fresh for season 1. Rule set B is everything is the same except for the wipes. There will be one included along with the other one for the end of the season. So raid 5 will be the first ever like edition of a wipe in season. Okay? But keep in mind there's only one wipe in the season 0 if we do that. Rule set C is going to be the same thing except now we add a few new rules. We have a new weapon restriction for rule set C. I can bring any weapon, but I can only start with one magazine for said weapon. So, for example, I can bring a machine weapon, but I can only bring one magazine to start. Should I have extracted with a weapon a magazine from the previous raid, so I can drop everything into my stash. I can bring everything, but I can only bring any weapon with one mag. The rest of the mags have to stay in the stash, and I have to find more in the raid. Similarly, in addition to that, we have another rule. In this game, there's a hydration system and an energy system, including with your health system. If you don't have water, don't have drink, or don't have food, there is food in this game by the way, you will dehydrate and you will die faster. This is when I say realism, realistic stuff. So we're gonna start only with two hydration items. It could be anything, water, food, whatever. Wipes, one wipe. Raid 5. End of season 0, they will be having a sell wipe. So how this works is instead of discarding items, we're gonna sell them. So we're actually gonna start with money in season 1. Slight advantage. That is why I call the slight advantage wipe there. Rule set number D. Rule set D. This is a little bit different because this one now has 8. Instead of 7 raids, we're gonna have an extra raid. The first raid is pistol. The first 4 raids are with debug mods. The last 3 are going to be with no debugs. Raid number 8, however, is everything, but there's a new rule. On raid 8, we're going to increase the difficulty by 1. So, thanks to the new mod called Sane and Donuts and Swag, there is a rule where there is a setting there. You can actually increase the difficulty of bots by 1 by 1. It's called Impossible Mode, I believe, on raid 8. But on raids 1 to 7, I can change it to however I want. It's raid 8 that I need to increase the difficulty by 1. Weapon restrictions and items. I can bring any weapon but with one mag only. Start with 2 hydration items, water, etc. whatever. But I cannot bring any armor plates or armor when entering. Wipes, there are 2 wipes in this one. Number 5, like normal, and number 8, and end of season 0. And then it's a cell wipe to start season one with money. So tell me which one you guys like in that. Vote for it in the community tab on my main channel. Now let's talk about season one. So for the most part, the beginning season, also known as our like warm up season, to just to learn the game, has 7 or 8 raids depending on what number you choose for the rule set. Season one starts. Now we're gonna have more raids. 7 is too short. But I'm only doing that number just because, hey, I want to give you guys a little look of this game, how fun it is, how realistic it is, all that good stuff. Now we're gonna start the real stuff. Season one. There will be a preseason included. So all seasons will have a 2 to 5 test raid um segment to adjust mods and settings. Wipes are after the last preseason raid. Debug mods will be allowed during that time. End of the season though, we're gonna have a full wipe regardless of rule set. Debug mods are not allowed in season except for the waypoints because you need that for the AI. It is required. Um, in season roleplay story, we're gonna have a roleplay story, and that will give some exceptions to some rules. We'll talk about the roleplay element in a moment. Set number one has 20 raids. Oh, by the way, each season we're going to adjust different things. So if you guys want more raids, I'll accept that. Or if you want to change the rule set, you guys can. But we're gonna start with what you guys want. Set number one of rules is 20 raids. There will be 20 raids for season one, for example. Raids 1, 10, and 15 will be considered our pistol runs because raids 10 and 15 will be doing a wipe there. Now, you may have noticed that there is a parenthesis on live shows included. I am planning to go live with this series on my main channel, Yuuki Productions, as part of our content. And if raid 10 or raid number 15 ends up as a live show, we will do the wipe live as well. The wipe event. Weapon and item restrictions. There will be no weapon and item restrictions for rule set 1, and there will be no official like budget. The money you can spend in the season. There's no budget. Just go for it. Rule set 2 has 25 raids, where 1, 10, 15, 20, and 25 are pistol runs. Actually, that should only say 20. Ignore 25 because that's the last one. Number of mods any. There will be 4 wipes. Raid 5, 10, 15, and 20, including live shows. There will be weapon and item restrictions. There are 3 of them. Number 1, any weapon, 1 mag allowed. Hydration and energy system. Start with 2 items of anything you want. And bags, any bag. So you can actually have backpacks in this game. And you can put stuff in there. For the stash, I can bring anything. The budget to spend in terms of in-game items will be 500,000 in currency. Okay, rule set 3 and 4. Rule set 3, 25. There will be 25 raids. Raids 1, 10, and 20 will be pistol runs. Rule Raid 25 will be all out. Bring anything you want. There will be 4 wipes. What? Raid 5, 10, 15, and 20. So basically every 5 in that case. Except for the last one. Weapon and item restrictions. One restriction. No more than 2 weapons when entering. So I can bring a pistol, AK, I can bring a sniper, a pistol, whatever. Just no more than 2. But as much as in terms of like other restrictions like magazines, no. I can bring as many magazines as I want, but I can only bring 2 weapons for rule set 3. And the budget for rule set 3 is 450,000 in terms of in-game currency. Number four, here's the interesting one. If you guys are interested, rule number four, rule set four in season 1. There will be 30 raids. 30, there's a lot. Raids 1, 10, 15, 20, and 25 will be pistol runs. There will be any number of mods. However, unlike the other rule set, there are no wipes, other than the end of the season. Weapon and item restrictions, there are none. Budget, spend as much as you want. However, here's the catch. The difficulty will be up by one thanks to Sane and Donuts mod. So I'm going to actually mess with Sane and Donuts, and I'm going to increase the difficulty up by one. Up by one, or change it to where it's harder. So it goes from normal to hard, or if you go from hard to um nightmare, or whatever they call it there in Tarkov. Okay, so that's what the idea is. So vote on these as well. You'll be able to vote on these later today. Now let's talk about a role playing element that I want to try out. So a lot of people, a few people who I watch, including including gamer visuals, has this role playing element where they have a character, they name their character whatever, and they have a story. For example, Jack. I believe Jack was used by um gamer visual. So he has this story of Jack who was knocked out somewhere and ended up in Tarkov in the whatever place the map is. Like for example, factory or interchange. And then that's the story. From there, the story speaks for itself based on how you play. Let's say Jack just found a weapon like a pistol and he started killing people, whatever the story is. So we can do something like that for our gameplay. But to make it more interesting, check this out. I have some ideas for roleplay. So the character name and story, whatever that will be. Level progress advantage based on in-game level. So the game has a in-game leveling system with EXP, and we can use that to our advantage for like a progress, like a perk or like an advantage. Added items for raids, bypass some rules for this season. Different budgets to spend, or a class system with bonuses to add to the raid. Okay, some ideas for advantages I have are 1 mag plus 1 mag to the raid at every 5 levels. So if the rule set was I can only bring 1 mag, I can use my advantage to add one more, regardless of the rule set, because of my advantage for the level. Add budget pool. So if the rule set said, let's say 600,000, I can only spend, I can use my advantage to add another 100,000, something like that. Chat decides advantage and real advantage. So if I decided to do this more interactively, you guys can get involved. You guys decide the advantage I get for reaching level 5, for example. One advantage I could try is skip a wipe event. For example, in rule set number 3, every 5 raids was a wipe event. But let's say I earned an advantage. I can skip the wipe event, no wipe on raid 5. The next wipe will be raid 10. Okay? I can only use this advantage one time. It is a one-time skip wipe event, except for the final one to start the next season. Okay? That's how that works. Now, if I decide to carry over the advantage, I could do that. But I cannot do it on the last one, and I cannot do the one on the first raid. The first wipe, which we see raid 5. Or I could do a dice. Roll the dice. I have this dice at home. I have a dice at home right here to tell you, hey, A one is, let's say, one mag. A two would be add budget. A three, skip the wipe, the next wipe. A four would be like add two more items of any you're choosing. A five would be like let's say add two more mags or whatever. A six is like more budget, something like that. That's the roll the dice. Now we're gonna get into something more interesting: death penalties. So if I get killed in Tarkov, I lose everything, and then on top of that, we're gonna have a death penalty. And here's some ideas I have. Now keep in mind, all of these are still WIP, work in progress. So anything can still happen before we start the real thing. The first death penalty that could be enforced will be a -1 mag to bring to raids. However, there's the rule: must keep one mag to play fair. So you can go in without nothing in Tarkov, but to keep it fair, you need to at least have one magazine of the weapon. Otherwise, you could die again because you have to loot and stuff, and there is a chance that an AI will kill you there. So for that reason, we need to have one mag in play. Now, if you have two mags, for example, then we can do the penalty of -1 mag. Penalties to budget pool. So let's just say, for example, I have a budget of 450,000 currency in Tarkov. We can reduce that to 400,000 for the penalty. The chat can also decide what the penalty is, or we can spin the wheel. Or, even more evil, if you wish to do so, we could even add a bonus wipe event, as if this was raid 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's just say I died on raid 7, and you guys wanted to add a bonus wipe event. Raid 8 and 10 will be considered wipe events, regular wipe events. But raid 8 is the bonus one because of the death penalty. So that's the evil one. Okay? And if you guys want me to go to the chance game, we roll the dice to determine the death penalty, including that wipe event. I'm telling you, we can make this happen. Like different ideas. Now, here's the thing that's going to be interesting: death streaks. So if you play like Call of Duty, I believe Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, there was something called a death streak, where you can earn a significant small advantage temporarily to help you like decrease that death streak. For example, in Call of Duty, I believe there was one martyrdom where you drop a grenade after you die. You end you end that streak by like that if it's possible, if you get lucky. Okay? So here's some death streaks ideas. Allowed to have two mags to start until the streak ends. So if the rule says I can only have one, but if I'm on a death streak, I can have two. However, once my streak ends and I extract one time in my streak, I have to go back to the normal rules. Number two, get 20k additional budget until the end of the streak. So if my budget was 450,000, but I'm on a dead streak, I'm going to increase it to 470 until my streak is over. So I add 20,000 more to that budget only if I'm on a dead streak. But once the streak is over, I go back to normal. The next thing that could happen is to skip the wipe. Skip the wipe if the wipe is on a raid number. So if, for example, raid number 4, let's just say the first raid was okay, was nice, I extracted, but then raids 2 and 3 and 4, I died those 3 times. The the next raid is 5. Now normally, according to the rule set, that's a wipe. That's a right raid or a WR. However, on a death streak, I skipped that wipe. So I ignore the wipe and go continue going to play. If I extract on the next one, then nothing happens. I just keep everything until raid 10. Raid 10, if I'm not on the death streak, then I have to do the wipe thing. I'm back to normal rules. Or, speaking of rules, bypass one of the rules for the season and for that raid until the streak is over. So I can bypass one of my rules from the rule set that we have voted on, and then I have to bypass one of them. Like if it says one mag, I can have two, but I can only increase it by one. That's the catch. There's no increase it by 15. No. Then let's make it fair, boys and girls. Okay, that's how it works here. We have to make it fair. Okay, next. That's the roleplay system. Here is my tentative mod list that I'm thinking of trying out to start. So these are all mods thanks to SPT Aki, SPT AKI. So SPT Aki is the name of the mod system for Escape from Tarkov single player. Um, SPT Aki. Once again, SPT AKI. The following is a list of the mods I am thinking of our series. Note that we can change the mod settings or undo add remove mods during the season, during, after, or before. Mod list sources can vary, but most are known because of Gamer Visual, subscribe to them, and Starbucks, subscribe to them too. Some of them can be used in the RP story. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking about. So all the following mods are based on Starbucks and Gamer Visual. So I looked up their channels on YouTube, and they have a mod list for most players. Most of the time, you're gonna hear of these mods that I'm about to present to you, and I'm going to be using too. So here is some of the mods that we are going to go for. We have Sane, SAIN, which is changes AI behavior like difficulty, how they act, how they play. We have a thing called swag and donuts. Don't worry, the donuts are not swaggy. They don't have glasses on them, but you get my point. They change the AI fight patterns via preset. So they can have a preset for you. You can make it difficult, easy, hard, medium, baby, whatever you want. This is one of those that we're going to modify should one of the presets of the rules allow us to increase difficulty. Waypoints and Big Brain. These are two different mods, but I'm putting them together because it is required for both, I told you, brother sister. Controls how the AI moves around the map. So Big Brain and Waypoints. Waypoints will be like the nav mess where they can travel. It is required because without the waypoint a big brain, it will not work. SVM is called server value modifier. It's more of a loot fix. Amends graphics and amends sense allows you to change the graphics and add icons. It's more the quality of life. Check marks, or we're gonna get more check marks for items of how items are used, and these are in the form of tooltips. We have the item sell price mod that will show you how much to sell for and who to sell to. Looting box. So included with the mod list here is looting box. Allows bots to loot boxes, players, etc. as if acting like a normal player. This one is more make it more interesting rather than quality of life because the bots can actually play like normal players. They loot, they steal, they shoot, they do everything to make it more interesting. Because if you do not have this, it's like, hey, here's your free loot, go get. Looting bots though allow you to fight for it. they make you fight for the loot, which makes it more fun, more interesting. The next one is a must. Algorithmic level progression. Algorithmic level progression. It will scale the AI to match your level. So if you're level 7, the AI is going to think level 7 kind of deal. Okay? Why is this a thing? Because if, for example, there are bots that could spawn you with level 14 armor or something, and you're only level 1, so yeah, I don't think you're going to take down a level 14 at level 1 now. So this is what algorithmic level progression does. Questing bot. Questing bot mod allows bots to complete quests like normal players would. Keys for quests shows if you have a key, like your key, and it's for a quest item. It's a quest item key. Live flea prices. So this one is more of quality of life. Takes the place prices of in-game items and prices that like them like real life flea market. So this one takes whatever the real life flea market is offering and prices the in-game items like that. LPA Redux it stands for Lockpick Attorney Redux. It's a new trader. So you have an item shop, trader. The trader will give you keys. You sell key. You buy key from that trader. And there's actually more than that. There's more trader mods, so you can add more. The next three are not from gamer studios, gamer visuals. The next one is from Starbucks. I learned about this one. Free cam. On snaps the camera to allow player to do the free camera, useful for content creation and teleportation. So the free cam allows you to look around like a camera inside of the world, and you get to use it for like camera, like an actual camera. You can do screenshots, you can take it for like content creation and all that cool stuff. So that's actually what it's used for. However, you can also teleport. That could be a perk if if you guys want it as a perk. Teleportation, aka in the Sonic community, chaos control. Airstrike, an airstrike mod, yes, airstrike mod allows you to summon airstrikes, which is configurable. The airstrike mod allows you to call in a airstrike like you would normally do in a Call of Duty game. Literal airstrike. You mark the area of the airstrike and then airstrike will come in, take them out. I could use this for a perk, an advantage, or a character story. Whatever you come up with character story. But it's a limited item. It's a limited item, even if we add the mod. We can actually configure this to make it like you can only have 3 airstrikes per raid, or 2, or 1, or whatever number. So we can configure this to our own liking later on. Uh, 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 Another mod I found out about is stash search. This is more quality of life because on the stash, you can search bar. You can search for whatever you want, like weapon, ammo. That's the search bar thing, okay? Let's continue. Perk ideas. So, perks. So, another idea I have for roleplay story is perks. So, in Call of Duty, you would normally have perks, like pick 10 system. So perks we have are as follows. Well, these are just like little testing perks. Supercharged. We can add 2 hydration energy items in each raid. Keep in mind this will override some rules. Mag up. Add 1 magazine to the raid. Big spender. Add 100,000 to the budget to the current rule set. So if the rule set said 450,000, I can use this perk to add another 100,000 for 550,000 if I decide to do that. Armor up. Add 2 armor plates before starting the raid. So if I use this perk, if the rule set said I cannot have an armor plate, I can advantage this by using armor up. Add 2 armor plates to the raid. Attachment hog. Add 2 gun attachments to the raid. So let's say I have a machine gun and I want to add a grip and like a scope. Magazines do not count because you are required to have one. So we can have like a stock, we can have like a suppressor, something like that. We can have 2 attachments included with our weapon. There are no restrictions in the rule set to do so now. So I can use this if you guys want. Attachment hug 2 is the same thing, but 4 attachments to the gun. Healing zone. Add 1 additional healing item to the loadout. Armor up 2. Instead of just 2 armor plates, we can add 4 armor, or it could. I don't think it's called armor plates, but I think it's called something else. But it's 4 of armor, something in that area. If, however, it's not armor plates, it's more like level. In this case, armor up 1 will be at a level 2 armor, and armor up 2 will be at a level 4 up to level 4 armor. And there will be more perk ideas I have in the future. Questing. Talk about questing. We will be doing quests and stuff for some of the normal quests that you'll be seeing. Some of them are from the default game and some of them will be modded. We can buy and sell with our questing. Free cam mod, as earlier stated, allows us to do a free camera around the map, but in addition, allows us to teleport to other parts of the map. I am incorporating this for content and maybe a reward for perk reward, or story element for our character. So here is the timeline that I want to try to follow when it comes to this new game. Now normally I don't have timelines to start a new game, but this one is more of a special case because it's a new thing we want to try, Escape from Tarkov. It's single player. So here's the timeline. So the timeline is as follows. May 10, 2024 today. This is the presentation. So this presentation is here and the start of the Yuuki SPT Adventures YouTube channel. I will show you guys the channel in a moment. The first content is a presentation replay with this thing right here. Then I'm going to have a layout presentation. It's like me preparing for a Mario game, but for Tarkov, I'm going to do a layout presentation. Like, hey, this is where the thing goes, this is where the game goes, like a normal stream layout or content layout. I'm gonna have a layout presentation, but not like a text presentation. Just like a visual where everything goes, how to present it, how content is presented, all that stuff is a layout presentation. Then this summer, when I get the game, we're gonna start season 0 of Yuuki SPT Adventures. So the rules that you guys voted for earlier, followed up by the mod trials, the mod settings, and season 0 raids. However many raids we have, 7 or 8, based on what you guys say. Then I'm going to do a video preview of season 1. We're going to have the mod list, we're going to have the mod settings overview, we're going to have the rule set overview, and I'm going to present the loadout to start season 1. And finally, we get started with this thing. Season 1 of Yugi SPT Adventures, the official start of the story with SPT. Season 0, like I said earlier, was just going to be, it's more like a, hey, let's get accustomed to the game. Let's see how you guys like it, what you guys want to change, the settings, the difficulty. This is where we test everything. And then the preseason of season 1 will be like, hey, let's adjust things further to make it ready for our season 1 rule set. Let's practice the rule set and then we'll adjust it to get ready. And once we are ready, based on that, based on the feedback, season 1 will begin officially with a story. Season 0 has no story. Season 1 will. Okay, with the story. Official raids and start of the journey with the roleplay story. Okay, our roleplay story can be something like Gamer Visuals, where our character is dragged into Tarkov. We don't know what he's doing there. All we do know is he got there somehow. He doesn't know how. He doesn't know when. He does know he's in Tarkov trying to hunt down somebody, whatever the story may be. Let's just leave it at that. And then, based on how we do, we can do the story like the mags, the waypoint mods, all the advantages and the rule sets that you guys want to vote for. Okay, so that's how it's going to be run. All right, that's all for now. This is just a little taste of what is to come, and I'm going to show you guys the channel. The channel, the channel is here. This is the Yuki's SPT Adventures channel. If you guys will recognize it, it used to be the Horror Yuki channel for horror games. That never worked. But based on what I saw in the community tab, when voting on Tarkov, you guys want Tarkov. Like, let's take a look at the poll again. Let's look at that poll again in particular. You guys want that Tarkov. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys really want that Tarkov. And then you guys voted on the name, which is Yuki's SPT Adventure. Now, keep in mind, for the first few days, it's more like training, getting ready. Then once we're ready, we're gonna start the real thing. So go ahead and start voting on the polls on the main channel, and then the layout presentation is coming, and then we start for real. Summer 2024, folks. We're gonna escape from single player Tarkov, and our adventures of our character, whatever the name will be, whatever the story will be, it's about to begin. See you in Escape from Tarkov, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you guys very soon for that. Enjoy and subscribe today to Yuki's single player Tarkov adventures. We're about to escape from Tarkov.